Chapter 6. Wanda seemed to be an unhappy kid, said my dad. Maybe I should try talking to her. Go ahead, I said. I sat down and crossed my arms. I wanted nothing more to do with Wanda. Wanda, said my dad in this really calm voice. I think you must be very angry to be trashing our apartment. Ha ha ha. Who even cares what you think? What do you think could be making you so angry? My dad went on. I'm Dad. Well then, why don't you go and play with some nice dad girls and leave us alone? I couldn't help yelling. There ain't none around. Tough, I said. Jack, you're not being half rude, Dad pointed out in a sharp voice. Then he turned his face back to the Sally. Wanda, what can we do? He asked. There was no reply for several moments. Then the M&Ms rearranged themselves once more. I want Jack to play with me. I was amazed. I could believe it. Why the heck would I ever want to play with somebody who destroys my toys and wrecks my dad's apartment? I said. You think I'm nuts? I only play with people who treat me nicely and who treat me stuff nicely. And that sure isn't you. Once again, Wanda was showing slow in answering. Then the M&M shifted into a new combination of letters. What if I could fix it? I looked at my dad. He looked around our wrecked apartment and shook his head sadly. Wanda, I said, his place looks like a war zone. What you've done to our apartment is beyond fixing. We're not bad. Yeah, I said. How much? A quarter, I said. I took out the quarter and held it up. Here's my money. The quarter I was holding turned tingly, and these tang raised it. Then there was a blinding flash. All the pieces of the Game Boy flew back together again. It was just like in a TV commercial when they run the film in reverse and somebody jumps backward out of a swimming pool onto the diving board. Hey, holy cow, I said. How did you do that? Tricks of the trade. Listen, Wanda, could you fix the rest of the stuff you broke? That acts in a hole for boys. That depends. On what? On what Jack does for me. I looked at my dad. He shrugged. Then I had an idea. I didn't think I want to hang out with Wanda. She wasn't exactly my type, being that and all about. Hey Wanda, I said. If you fix the rest of the stuff you broke, I might just be able to find you a possible playmate. You mean you? No, not me. Better than me. Somebody in the split world. What do you say? There was no reply. I wondered if Wanda had heard me. Then the room began to shudder as if a major earthquake was about to begin. The whole apartment grew kind of hazy, like in a sandstorm, and then suddenly things started flying through the air. Dishes, silverware, plates, pans, clothes, books, TV sets. There were horrid sounds, scraping, grinding, clanging. A heavy book bounced off my left shoulder. A glob of ectoplasm. I landed on my cheek. Oh, a small dish flew past my ear like a flying squirrel. ZACK circle. Come to think of it, it was a flying circle. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, it was over. Look around the apartment. We couldn't believe our eyes. The gooey ectoplasm was completely gone. The kitchen was all cleaned up too. In my room, things weren't they what you could call neat, but it was certainly no messier than before Wanda had gone to work. I was so happy I wanted to yell. My dad looked like he'd just won the lottery or something. Wanda, you did it, I said. You really did it, I told you. Well, I said. You did what you said. So now I'll do what I said. Follow me. Where are we going? You see, I said. Chapter 7. Wanda was so thrilled the apartment was back together again. He was happy to let me go to Bernard's. And when I called Bernard and told him I was coming to help him with his poltergeist, he couldn't believe it. So I took my book of black magic and my 7 black candles, and I wore the 3 lucky burners looking both ways when I crossed the street. I kept talking to Wanda. I wanted to make sure she was following me. I couldn't see her. Of course, and because there were no M&Ms around, somebody who wasn't there. They looked at me like I was cuckoo. Yo, Wanda, I said. If you're still with me, give me a sign. A very stuffy-looking lady wearing a straw hat with a white brim was walking toward me. All of a sudden, something grabbed the brim of her straw hat and yanked it down over her eyes. Yep, Wanda was still with me. A man smoking a fast stinking cigar. So this man began to laugh, and then his cigar exploded in showers of sparks, covering his face with black spit. Soon, I was at Bernard's apartment. Bernard's folks were rich. Their huge Fifth Avenue apartment was filled with huge sofas, huge glass tables, and huge uncomfortable chairs. Most of their furniture was covered with clear plastic covers. Probably Bernard's folks sweated as much as he did. Right away, I saw the problem. His apartment was a lot neater than apartments ought to be. All the magazines on the coffee table kept bringing themselves first by sight and then by date, and this rack with nobody holding it was pushing all the fancy stuff in from hall. Hey, Bruno, I called. Where are you? The minute I said that, the dust rag stopped polishing and floated off down the hallway. It was going toward the back of the apartment. I realized I was supposed to follow. Chapter 8. The pen began scribbling message to Wanda, and the chariots kept ringing themselves into message to Cecile. Describing and rewriting went faster and faster. Pretty soon, it was too fast for any living person to follow. Well, I said, I guess those two have hit it off. Describing and rearranging of Cherry's skid to a stop. Then the cherry spelled out something slowly enough for me to read it. That's what you think. You mean you don't like each other? I said. The pen began to scribble again. Your friend Wanda is a crude, uneducated, and unsuspectingly messy person, it read. The chariots came alive. Your friend sincerely snubbed. Hey, come on, guys, I said. You two have so much in common, being that and all. Yeah, who two have to get along? Vernon added. Vernon, you're a jerk who sweats a lot, said the chariots. Hey, said Vernon, getting up from his chair. That, take that back. I guess Wanda and Sincere were too, because Vernon's pants stopped moving up and down his legs in like a yo-yo. He put them back up again and sat down. That's better, I said. You two may be that, but you're acting like babies, and I will not tolerate it. Mr. Hoffman likes to use the word tolerate a lot. I can see why. Okay, I said. Look, you two could be great friends, but you have to learn to get along. If you try to, you can. You mean Vernon and I are getting along now, and we don't even like each other. Hey, said Vernon. He looked hurt. I mean, we didn't before, I asked. I said, anyway, you have to get along. You don't have any choice. There just aren't that many that kids in the neighborhood. Also, you need to find a place to stay. How about we move in with you, Jack? Yeah, Jack, said Vernon. That's a great idea. Sorry, guys, I said. No way. Now, dear, an interesting idea, I said. No way, yelled Vernon, jumping up from the table. I thought he was going to lose his pants again. Okay, gang, I've got an idea, I said. You know the Adventureland amusement park right across the river in New Jersey? Well, there got a haunted house that is really badly. It couldn't even scare a 5-year-old. But a couple of pros, like you could really whip it into shape in no time. Why, after you two start hunting it, I'll bet that place could scare the daylights out of anybody. All the pants. Yeah, I said. So what do you say, guys? Are you willing to move to Adventureland? There was no reply at first, and then I believed that looking over the haunted house at Adventureland would be an extraordinary challenge. Read the pen. Vernon and his mom looks relieved. What about you, Wanda? I said. Would you come to visit us? Oh, well, sure, I said. You bet we would, Wanda. We'll visit you whenever we got a chance. If you don't visit us then, I guess we'll have to visit you. Well, we'll visit you, I said. And so Wanda and Cecile Cecile went off to live in the haunted house of Adventureland. I wondered if they found a way to get along. Every once in a while on the news, I hear about strange things going on out there. Everybody thinks the people who run Adventureland just dream up some new spooky tricks. But I know who's really behind it, and I'm keeping my promise to Wanda. We are celebrating my next birthday with a big party in the haunted house at Adventureland. It should be an interesting party. Very interesting, in fact. Please subscribe it.